Hey, welcome back to Infinite Wisdom. My name is Michael, and on today's episode, we'll be preparing for our upcoming series, Esoteric Mythology, where we'll be looking at the hidden layered meanings of ancient myths. Today, we'll look at The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall, and discover the foundations of ancient philosophy. As this book is in the public domain, I'll be leaving a link in the description below. This will mark the beginning of a short parallel mini-series that'll run side by side with our Esoteric Mythology series. We'll call this one Ancient Philosophy. This one's going to be kind of dense, so you may want to grab a glass of wine, sit back, and enjoy. As always, let us know if you'd like us to cover similar topics by posting in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on our frequent updates. Philosophy is the science of estimating values. The mission of philosophy is to establish the relation of manifested things to their invisible ultimate cause, or nature. Philosophy, writes Sir William Hamilton, has been defined as the science of things divine and human, and of the causes in which they are contained. The science of effects by their causes. The science of sufficient reasons. The science of things possible, inasmuch as they are possible. The science of things evidently deduced from first principles. The science of truths, sensible and abstract. The application of reason to its legitimate objects. The science of relations of all knowledge to the necessary ends of human reason. The science of the original form of the ego, or mental self. The science of sciences. The science of the absolute. The science of the absolute indifference of the ideal and real. The identity of identity and non-identity. The 6 headings under which the disciplines of philosophy are commonly classified are metaphysics, which deals with such abstract subjects as cosmology, theology, and the nature of being. Logic, which deals with the laws governing rational thinking, or, as it has been called, the doctrine of fallacies. Ethics, which is the science of morality, individual responsibility, and character, concerned chiefly with an effort to determine the nature of good. Psychology, which is devoted to investigation and classification of those forms of phenomena referable to a mental origin. Epistemology, which is the science concerned primarily with the nature of knowledge itself and the question of whether it may exist in an absolute form. And aesthetics, which is the science of the nature of and the reactions awakened by the beautiful, the harmonious, the elegant, and the noble. Plato regarded philosophy as the greatest good ever imparted by divinity to man. In the 20th century, however, it had become a ponderous and complicated structure of arbitrary and irreconcilable notions, yet each substantiated by almost incontestable logic. The lofty theorems of the old academy, which Iamblichus likened to the nectar and ambrosia of the gods, have been so adulterated by opinion that the heavenly mead would now be quite unrecognizable to this great Neoplatonist. Heraclitus declared this to be a falling sickness of the mind. Convincing evidence of the increasing superficiality of modern scientific and philosophic thought is its persistent drift towards materialism. When the great astronomer Laplace was asked by Napoleon why he had not mentioned God in his treatise on celestial mechanics, the mathematician naively replied, "Sire, I had no need for that hypothesis." In his treatise on atheism, Sir Francis Bacon tersely summarizes the situation thus: "A little philosophy inclineth man's mind to atheism, but depth in philosophy bringeth men's mind about to religion." The Metaphysics of Aristotle opens with these words: "All men naturally desire to know." To satisfy this common urge, the unfolding human intellect has explored the extremities of imaginable space without, and the extremities of imaginable self within, seeking to estimate the relationship between the one and the all, the mind and the source of the mind, the effect and the cause, nature and the groundwork of nature, the spirit and the substance of the spirit, the illusion and the reality. An ancient philosopher once said, "He who has not even a knowledge of common things is a brute among men. He who has an accurate knowledge of human concerns alone is a man among brutes. But he who knows all that can be known by intellectual energy is a god among men." Man's status in the natural world is determined, therefore, by the quality of his thinking. He whose mind is enslaved to his bestial instincts is philosophically not superior to the brute. He whose rational faculties ponder human affairs is a man, and he whose intellect is elevated to the consideration of divine realities is already a demigod, for his being partakes of the luminosity with which his reason has brought him into proximity. In his encomium of the science of sciences, Cicero is led to exclaim, "O philosophy, life's guide, O searcher, out of virtue and expeller of vices, what could we, and every age of men, have been without thee? Thou hast produced cities, thou hast called men scattered about into the social enjoyment of life." In this age, the word philosophy has little meaning unless accompanied by some other qualifying term. The body of philosophy has been broken up into numerous isms, more or less antagonistic, which have become so concerned with the effort to disprove each other's fallacies that the sublimer issues of divine order and human destiny have suffered deplorable neglect. The ideal function of philosophy is to serve as the stabilizing influence in human thought. By virtue of its intrinsic nature, it should prevent man from ever establishing unreasonable codes of life. Philosophers themselves, however, have frustrated the ends of philosophy by exceeding in their wool-gathering those untrained minds whom they are supposed to lead in the straight and narrow path of rational thinking. To list and classify any but the more important of the now recognized schools of philosophy is beyond the scope of this series. The vast area of speculation covered by philosophy will be appreciated best after a brief consideration of a few of the outstanding systems of philosophic discipline which have swayed the world of thought during the last 26 centuries. The Greek school of philosophy had its inception with the 7 immortalized thinkers, upon whom was first conferred the appellation of Sophos, the wise. We'll get into the Greek school of philosophy on our next episode. For now, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss our frequent updates. As always, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.